The following program contains language, images, and/or subject matter that may be objectionable to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Direct from Albany, New York, it's time for the News Media Zone. With your hosts, Ed and Dave. Tonight, a look at this week's new film and DVD releases. And a chance to win free movie tickets with the poster pair game. And now your hosts, Ed and Dave.
Hello and welcome to the New Media Zone. Ed and Dave here. Ed and Dave with you with another exciting new show as we take a look back in time at the classic films and TV shows and songs of years past, as 2020 has been quite the year. Now, we're doing this because, the theater's closed.
Right.
But since our last taping, Regal's has closed down every theater all over the world.
The world.
The world.
The entire globe.
The entire globe.
Okay.
Regal shut down.
Did they do that on their own volition, or were they told you have to shut down?
No, they did it on their own because it was just not worth it. Mainly they were blaming New York and California, I think, as not being open.
Because they were forced to be closed
Yeah.
in those areas.
But the governor has said it's okay in New York to... Did you just give a signal?
No. That was an actual movement.
That was a movement.
If I was given a signal, it would have been this.
I missed one or two, but you saw on the old shows when you did that, I would cut to your camera there.
Right.
So the governor says we're okay to open at 25%. So I don't know where it is, but Regal has opened the Albany, New York theaters. What they're showing, I don't know. I guess the old movies again, but we'll see how it goes. I think they're going to be closing in a month again.
It's possible. You can't. Are they opening them in New York City? Because I guess
Not everywhere outside of New York City.
everywhere outside of New York City.
Not New York City. Yeah.
New York City could be because they're very condensed.
Yes.
And they can have many a problem there. It could spike. We don't want that.
So tonight we'll be taking a look at 1966. We're going to go back.
Actually, before we do that,
Okay.
I've got to say something. As you know,
Uh-huh.
as many of you folks probably know, when we record our shows, they're done in advance.
Right.
So it could be possibly we do a show today, and it could be 4, 5, 6 weeks before it hits the air, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I just got to mention something. Apparently, on a show which we did at as of this date, which would not be the actual date, but as of today, that we did about 4 months ago,
Right.
a little over 4 months ago, where I, and I don't remember, but I guess I did, told a story. I'm not going to say what show it was. I don't want to
Okay.
draw attention to it.
Oh, okay. I was
And I'm
just
not
going to
gonna
mention which show I think it is.
And I'm not going to say who this pertains to,
Uh-huh.
but apparently a story I thought was innocuous enough upset a person that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
They felt disrespect. I got a message.
Oh, no.
A message. It was brought to my attention in a very intense way
Ooh.
that what I had stated was disrespectful, and I guess it was offensive and caused them embarrassment, perhaps some humiliation. That was never my intent with my humor, to offend or disrespect anybody. If anything, Ed, I do it to myself.
Yes, we often do that.
Right. So I just would like to say, despite me feeling that it was an innocuous story, upon further reflection,
Oh.
I could see how someone could get upset, a little offended, and perhaps embarrassed, or even feeling disrespected, and I don't want that to ever be the case towards anyone. So I say to you, person, who we're not going to mention, because we don't want to draw attention to it,
No.
that I sincerely and humbly apologize for anything that I have said that upset you and you felt disrespected.
Huh.
And you, much to your wishes, will never be mentioned again on this show.
Oh, no.
So yes, I never intend to offend people.
No, we try not to offend people, and if there's an issue that's iffy, we try not to mention the entire names or even where we worked for 20 years. But, this can happen. It's a live, in quotes, show. We tape to air, and these things will happen.
But it never occurred to me that this could be upsetting.
No.
I didn't feel it was, but again, that's just my sensibilities, which I have to become more sensitive to, that other people don't see things the same way as I do.
Yeah.
So I have to try and be a little more sensitive. So I will be more thoughtful in the future. But again, I apologize.
Okay, yeah. Don't want to offend anybody out there.
Absolutely not.
Trying to keep a light tone here.
Right.
I think that story, the one I'm thinking of, was very light and cute, but people involved in the story may not take it that way. So.
True. And it just didn't occur to me, so that's that.
That's that. Now, let's take it back to 1966, which we kind of remember.
I'm waiting for the big globe.
Right, we go back in time.
Do we remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Some things we do. I do.
Do you? Okay.
Now, this is a year I don't remember a lot of the movies.
I only remember or know of these movies from later on in life, having watched them. But let's start off. I'm going to start with number 10.
Okay.
Georgie Girl. Georgie Girl. That's British, I would think.
Yeah, I do remember the song at the time.
Yes.
I remember the song, Hey There, Georgie Girl. This isn't part of our sing-along we'll be doing later.
But should I read some of that? It's a plot that follows the story of a virginal young woman in 1960s swinging London who is faced with a dilemma when she is pursued by her father's older employer and the young lover of her promiscuous and pregnant flatmate.
That was a Redgrave, was Georgie. I don't know.
Was that Lynn Redgrave? I believe.
Yeah.
All right. Number 9, Alfie. We could also, I know that song too. What's it all about, Alfie?
Yeah, Michael Caine, and then we remember that song. But I don't really remember what the plot was of that.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Alfie tells the story of a young, womanizing man who leads a self-centered life purely for his own enjoyment until events force him to question his uncaring behavior, his loneliness, and his priorities. I think this was remade not too long ago with...
Jude Law, was it?
Yes, Jude Law. Correct. I always get him and Ewan McGregor confused.
Oh, you can't do that. Ewan McGregor is in the Star Wars movies. That's probably why you get them confused.
I don't see those movies. Number 8, The Professionals.
No, there was no song for this, so I had to look this one up again.
All right. In the later years of the Mexican Revolution, wealthy rancher J.W. Grant hires 4 men, all experts in their respective fields, to rescue his kidnapped wife, Maria, from Jesus Raza, played by a non-Jesus Raza type person, Jack Palance. You couldn't do that today.
Well, you could do it not too long ago because I just saw Anaconda was on.
With John Voight?
John Voight doing the worst Cuban, I guess, accent.
But that was still 90s.
Yeah.
Like 97, 98 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now you can't.
No, now you can't do anything.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Number 7, Grand Prix, which I'm assuming is a racing film.
That was a racing film.
Who was in that? Paul Newman wasn't in that, was he?
It was Paul Newman.
Was he? Okay.
Or the other one, Robert Redford. I think it was Paul Newman.
I think it was Paul Newman only because he became a racer.
Yeah.
Professionally later. The Russians are coming, the Russians are coming.
I remember that being on at the time, and it was kind of a lot of
Is that a Zero Mostel movie?
There was a lot of comedians.
I don't know. I know he was in the producers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he was in this, but I think he was in this. I think that's a Zero Mostel film.
Okay.
Number 5, A Man for All Seasons.
Now that one you never see again, so I had to look that one up.
Well, it's a film that depicts the final years of Sir Thomas More, the 16th century Lord Chancellor of England, who refused both to sign a letter asking Pope Clement VII to annul Henry VIII of England's marriage to Catherine of Aragon and to take an oath of supremacy declaring Henry VIII supreme head of the Church of England. That's why you don't see this movie anymore.
But somehow in 1966 it was number 5.
Yes. All right.
They must have been starved for entertainment in the 60s.
Well, number 4, The Sand Pebbles,
That was
Steve McQueen.
Okay. It was a war movie. I knew enough about that I didn't have to delve any further.
Number 3, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, with Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor fighting as they so often did in real life. Number 2, Hawaii. Only Know Blue Hawaii, the Elvis Presley film. Don't know this one. Do you know this one?
I think this was based on a novel, maybe Mishner, and it was like a romantic drama, and I think there may have been some explosions of volcanoes, a little bit of drama in there.
All right. And the number 1 movie, The Bible, In the Beginning, which I'm assuming is produced by the Dino De Laurentiis.
Right. A lot of stars. John Huston directed it, and he did the voiceover, and I think it was supposed to be a whole series of films based on the Bible, but they only did this one. Even though it was number 1, I guess, I don't know why no more were made in the series. A couple other, what I call decent films that we remember from the 60s.
Not the first one you got listed.
The Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's awful.
Awful.
Oh, I like the
Don Knotts?
Yeah, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. And I believe they used the Psycho House as the ghost house. Maybe it's such fond memories because I think that was another one that was on Channel 10 every other week, and they would show the trailer, I think, and he's stabbing the picture, and then they show all the haunted things in it. I guess it was kind of spooky stuff for the time. I'm not saying it's the funniest.
No, it's not.
Funniest movie of all.
It's not. It's just Don Knotts at his shaky best.
Monster Go Home, which was the movie they did right when the series was ending.
Was it in color?
It was in color. You saw all Herman in color, and they went to England, of all things, I guess, to make it a little different than the show. And the Batman movie.
Ooh, I don't remember the Batman movie.
Batman movie where they had all the villains in it, and Lee Merriweather was the Catwoman.
She's Catwoman.
In this one. So those are a few other 1966 films that we remember more than The Man of All Seasons.
Right. All right, now we're going into, what do you want to do, songs?
We do the songs next, I believe.
All right, number 10, which I do recall, Ballad of the Green Beret, as presented by Staff Sergeant Barry Sadler.
Right.
I do remember that one. Very military.
Yes.
Number 9, Kicks, by Paul Revere and the Raiders, the man who brought you Indian Reservation. He also brought you Kicks.
I don't remember Kicks.
I do remember Kicks, and I'll tell you how I remember Kicks.
How do you remember the
Because
Kicks?
in 1986, Kicks was remade by the Monkees.
Oh, on their
that was then,
yeah.
This is now. They had a bunch of old songs, and then they did 3 new songs, one of which was a remake of Kicks.
And one was, That Was Then, This Is Now.
Yep. Generally, as I say, we know the titles, how to sing the title, and then the rest of the words we don't know. Number 8, thrown in here, Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra.
Now
my personal favorite, Frank Sinatra.
You like a lot of Frank Sinatra.
I like most of the Sinatras. Yep. Great song, Strangers in the Night. Number 7, Cherish by The Association. Can you sing that one, Ed?
That's Cherish is the word.
Yeah.
You heard that for a while, not too much anymore.
Right. Another Sinatra is actually in this list. Number 6, These Boots Are Made for Walking by Nancy Sinatra, the daughter.
I'm thinking they used that in a commercial not too long ago, so that still pops up.
Probably a shoe. Number 5, Reach Out, I'll Be There, the Four Tops. I get that confused with Jackson 5, don't they? I'll Be There. That's not the same
Reach
song.
out, I'll be there. Do, 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 do. Is that helping you?
It's not helping me. In fact, it's hurting a little.
It's hurting.
No, I don't know that one. Number 4, the Monkees with Last Train to Clarksville. Big hit for them. One of their first big hits.
That's tough to sing, though. That's why we're not attempting that one tonight, right?
Why is that tough to sing?
Well,
Well, that's the guitar, Ed. You don't sing the guitar. Oh, you're talking about... yeah, he does that part, yeah. But we don't want to sing the whole song. We just know...
Is it too high? Why can't we sing that one? It just seems like that
Because we can't sing.
Well, besides that,
You know,
but there are songs we can...
Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. I know all the words. Number 3, What Becomes of the Broken Hearted by Jimmy Ruffin.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know that song. Number 2, 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians. I think that was their only hit.
Yes. Yeah.
And the number 1 song for 1966, California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas. They had a string of hits.
Yeah.
In their day.
That was their
Good.
biggest one, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I
How come there's no Herman's Hermits on here?
They didn't make it into the top 10.
With,
and I
you
looked
know-
through the other songs, and there was nothing that stood out that needed to be mentioned.
Oh, okay. So I always like a good Herman's Hermit song, like Mrs. No, not Mrs. Robinson. You Have a Lovely Daughter, Mrs. Brown. You Have a Lovely Daughter, and Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good. Good happy tunes by Herman's
Yeah, that
Hermits.
was used in Naked Gun.
It
remember?
was. Yep. And he always sang with his British accent.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me I'm into something good. Nice, innocent times, Ed.
Oh, these were
Innocent music by the Herman
and the Hermits.
and his Hermits, better known as Peter Noon. Well, not better known as Peter Noon. That's his real name is Peter Noon. I saw him one time at the Live at 5.
Oh,
Very entertaining, actually. He was a very jovial fella, giving some good stories and hopping around the stage, even at his age of probably 70-ish.
mm-hmm.
So he's got to be mid-70s now,
Yeah.
I would think. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember him passing on. He's still
No,
with
he's still
us.
there, but I don't
Still
know if
there.
he does much anymore. All right, so TV shows?
Yes.
All right, number 10, Gomer Pyle, USMC. Now the spin-off of the Andy Griffith Show
Right, with Gomer.
with Gomer. I liked Gomer Pyle's show. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, but it's still on MeTV. You see it.
How many seasons? 3?
4?
Was it 4?
Yeah, at least 4.
All right. The Beverly Hillbillies. I could take that in small doses.
Oh yeah.
Granny was always entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And I do recall you showing not so long ago the fine cigarette commercial
Right.
that they were doing.
At the time in the 60s, you'd take the characters from a sitcom and you'd show them in a commercial wrapping smokes for Christmas.
Right. Wrapping the smokes and talking about how smooth they are.
Right.
Yeah. Number 8, Bewitched.
Never watched that. Then or in reruns.
How
For
can
some
you
reason.
sit here and say you never watched it when you have your whole shtick about Dick York and Dick Sargent?
Just because they switched dicks in the middle of the series doesn't mean I watched it.
All right.
Although I guess now if I watched it, it would be more entertaining because Paul Lynde was in there
Well,
and Dr. Zayas I think was in there. Wasn't Maurice Evans as some character?
maybe. He may have been in there, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why Jeannie, again, it's the networks had a certain feel back then where Jeannie was so like CBS was a brighter, happier thing. And
Or slightly nudier.
oh yeah, a little bit, I guess.
You got some skin there. Not the navel. You couldn't get the navel.
No, they had to cover that. For
But the
some-
midriff
too
was...
too shocking to show. the navel.
horrifying. And later on, we got, what's his name's butt from
Dennis
NYPD.
France.
Yeah. Number 7, Doctari. Doctari! Doctari! Doctari!
Wasn't that all they sang was Doctari?
Yeah. That was a good show.
Was it on a? Was it in Africa? Was the animals?
I believe,
on a
yeah. I think it
farm
was.
or some sort.
I remember seeing that now and then. I forget who was in it though. It wasn't the guy from Adam 12, was it?
I don't know. I think a young Erin Moran was in there as a
Really?
little girl, though.
Who was in Adam 12 other than it was Kent McCord and
Martin Milner.
Martin Milner. I'm thinking it was Martin Milner, but I think I'm wrong on that.
We'll have to something you can check out.
We
if
can
you're
check it out.
interested.
All right. Number 6, Green Acres.
That's always entertaining. Poor Oliver is always befuddled by the hicks that are in the town there.
I always liked Mr. Haney. Just the voice. Hey, Mr. Douglas, you need to go up to the farm. Number 5, the Jackie Gleason Show, which I don't remember the Jackie Gleason Show, just the Honeymooners, and this would not be the Honeymooners.
I remember that was very live and videotape looking, and there was some kind of transitions that went into stars. That's all I remember. Some very
Was it like a variety show?
a variety show, yeah.
Number 4, the Lucy Show.
This is the one we talked about on an early, the 65 show. It did have Ethel, not the
Vivian Vance
Right.
was in it, but not as Ethel, as another character. Number 3, the Andy Griffith Show. I do like the Andy Griffith Show. I think I mentioned on a previous show that I've come to appreciate that show more now, as more than when I was younger.
Now, Don Knotts had left, I think, by this time, doing The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. And who'd they bring in for one
They
season?
brought in, wait a minute, I know the name. Was it Avery? No, not Burns.
Burns.
Was it Jack Burns?
Jack Burns, I think.
And he was, his big thing was,
It was so annoying that I think he went away after one
He
season.
vanished. And I don't think they explained why he was gone. He was just gone.
And Andy had no deputy after that for the run of the series.
Which I think may have been just maybe 1 or 2 more years.
Yes.
I think it was through 68, perhaps. Number 2, the Red Skelton Hour.
We said we weren't thrilled with that. We do remember it being on in 65.
I just don't get I just don't get Red. I mean, okay, he messes up his hair a little.
Yeah, the hair was always flying around.
And he had some interesting bits, but I think maybe for the time it was good, but it's kind of, you'll see these infomercials for like the old Dean Martin roasts or the old Johnny Carson show, and then you'll see the ones for the Red Skelton show, and it's just not funny. Clem Cadiddlehopper.
I think that was the highlight, right? Clem Cadiddlehopper. He had a hat and the hair was flying.
Yeah.
And you laughed in the 60s at that.
I prefer a good shtick by Victor Borga with his, question mark thing. Anyway, number 1 show for 1966, Bonanza. And that show ran for what, 64 years?
Long time. Up until the 70s, even ran a year after Horse passed on.
Oh, really?
Remember Horse?
Dan Blocker?
Yeah, he passed on before the show was over.
All right.
And Pernell Roberts left. Did they bring in an extra son? They usually do that when somebody leaves.
I don't know.
More time for Horse.
And Little Joe.
All right, so that's 66. Is that everything?
That's it.
I don't have any extra TV or anything.
No?
Now, you mentioned a song. We're going to do some sing-alongs, and you can sing along at home with us because I'm going to put the words up.
That's right. And I think if you're with your loved one, get up and do a nice little slow dance for this fine tune that we're about to bring you. And hopefully your ears won't bleed.
Were you in the chorus at all in
No.
Element? I was in the chorus.
Were you?
And I remember in the class one time we had a sing-along, and the teacher said I had a fine voice.
Well,
Now,
all right
that was,
then.
That was before puberty, though.
Oh, was it? Like Peter Brady?
Yes. And I remember in the chorus I had to sing baritone, which was not the main thing. It was something underneath, and you had to sing it off somehow. So I didn't enjoy that too much. I just wanted to sing.
Your voice was so good, we wanted you to sing a little off underneath.
It must have been too deep, I guess, for the alto or the soprano. I was baritone.
All right.
So I'm going to give you some nice baritone via soprano or whatever. When you just sing along to the song. That's what we're going to do. And you enjoy. I don't know all the words to this one, so I might be a little backup on this one.
All right. Well, we're not going to do all of the song, Ed.
You don't want to do
We might
all
just
the
do a couple of lines and I'll just kind of tap out.
Okay.
But
Here we go.
What is it? What song are we doing?
This is Strangers in the Night from the top 10 of 1966.
Wonderful.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through? Something in your eyes was so inviting. Something in your smile was so exciting. Something in my heart told me I must have you. Strangers in the night, two lonely people, we were strangers in the night. Up to the moment when we said our first hello, little did we know, love was just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. Ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight, in love forever. I can't believe that I am doing this on TV.
I've had enough.
Had enough. That was pretty good, I thought.
A little off key, but I'm not a professional.
No, we're not on key anymore. In 12th grade I was, or whatever I was.
That's good.
So we'll have
this was brought by popular demand. People wanted this, Ed.
They enjoy it.
Did they?
I think we're going to get hundreds, I think, of people that didn't like that one bit. Maybe they'll like this.
No.
Let's see. We have only moments left. What are we going to do here?
Sing more?
I think we have to sing out. We don't have time for the game.
We don't have time for the game.
We really don't have time to get to DVDs.
Right.
I think we should pick up and finish the little song, sing out.
Oh, dear.
Maybe I'll come in with. There are a couple of lines there that move too fast for me. That's why I didn't think I'd be good with that. But
Well, you can make your own cadence. Oh, we're back.
We'll see you next time. We'll take a look at 1976 with some more singing.
Oh, no.
Actually, 2 songs are scheduled for next time.
Love was just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. Ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight.
I'm doing my baritone.
In love forever, it turned out so right for strangers in the night. Doobie doobie doo, doo 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 dee da 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 da, yeah 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 yeah. Doo bee 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 da da, yeah 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 yeah.
New Media Zone has been a Cable 2000 production.